Hello, welcome to our Cafe Latte session. Today we're going to talk about the urban divide in the GE13. Let me introduce you to our panelists. We have Teresa Kok, who is the DAP
Hello.
MP for Seputih. And we have Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, who's the UMNO Supreme Council member. And we have Daryl Liking, who's the PKR MP for Penampang. And we have Foy Kesung, who's the CEO of SANS. And we have ATM, who's a celeb Twitterer. Today we're going to talk about the urban divide. So my first question is to YB, is do you think that the urbanites have abandoned BN in GE13?
Well, if we look at the elections result, and also if we look at the top 10 highest majority parliamentary seats, most of them are from urban area. It started from Seputih, PJ, Bukit Mertajam, Sedang, Bukit Kelugor, Kepong, Batu Gajah, Ceras, Pekan and Bagan. Except Pekan, we do not know why.
Okay, must be the PM then. Okay, Datuk, what's your...
Yeah, I think to a certain extent you probably can say that this is the urban-rural divide. But there are two things. Number one, how do you look at urban? Temerloh, where I come from, is actually 50% urban and 50% rural. But when you take into consideration 6,000 voters who are not staying in Temerloh, but they come back from urban areas, then Temerloh is actually urban. Take Bachok. When you consider Bachok is supposed to be rural, but when you take into consideration 18,000 voters who come back from urban area to vote, then Bachok is not really rural. So there are two ways of looking at urban constituencies. One is it is the physical, the setting.
Yes.
Yeah. Second is the electorates. Are they really 100% staying there, or there are urban who come back and vote? But beyond that, I think there are also other issues. Yeah, other factors.
Okay. Daryl, I think you come from a very interesting constituency, which is Penampang in Sabah. It's technically, technically urban and rural, isn't it? So
it's a bit of both.
So do you think that the voters, urban voters, have abandoned BN, or how do you see it?
I actually never look at it as urban or rural. I look at it more as middle income. People from our area are all middle income, mostly in Penampang. Now, if you look at the number of votes we had, 22,000 over, and both equal from both sides, Moyog and also Kapayan, which they always deem Moyog to be rural, but it's actually not. You know that very well. The rural side of Moyog is only on the upper side. Now, they did not vote for us. The upper side did not vote for us actually, but then again, most people who moved from the upper side to the lower side of Moyog voted for us. So I look at it as more because they are more aware of their current needs as opposed to before. So it's the middle income rising up to say something. In my case, in our case in Penampang. Now in the whole nation, like Dato mentioned, Terengganu, most of Terengganu other than Kuala Terengganu is rural. Yeah. Yet Barisan won. Yeah, although close, but Barisan won. Kedah is the same. Other than Alor, mostly rural. Yet Barisan won. So I don't think it is urban and rural, but people beginning to say something, people changing their way of and pattern of voting. That is what I see. Yeah?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't think it's just one perspective and one plane. It's too singular in looking at it. It's just urban and rural divide. It's actually much greater than that. As you know, as YB Teresa was just quoted some of the seats. I mean, I think half of those seats, if not more than half of those seats, are seats that the BN has never won anyway. Simply because I think this time around, a lot of that majority actually are occupied by the Chinese areas. And if you look at it and say that it's just an urban and rural divide, you actually have, I mean, in a way, kind of like submerge a lot of the other issues middle income being one of them. I think issues of urban living, issues of competitiveness, issues of even race and religion. I know as much as people don't want to talk about it, but I think, you know, these are very primordial issues that don't go away, you know, and still needs to be addressed, you know, but of course, you know, how do we actually go forward and then, you know, look at it in a bigger picture is, I think, hopefully we can discuss this within an hour, but I think it's certainly more than urban and rural divide. It is an age gap as well. It's also intergenerational expectation, so on, legacy issues, of course, you know, issues of, you know, other more universal, even universal values too. I think that comes into play. So it's actually a lot more complex than just urban and rural.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we have to be very careful with the urban and rural definition, because I think it's very simplistic. And I think because there are many factors that you should consider. For example, like what Dato mentioned just now, I'm a first-time voter. I'm 38 because I came back from France in 2001, and I wasn't very politically inclined until I joined my company right now. And you know, as I get along with people from the social media, I notice the importance of politics. And I would consider myself as a keyboard warrior. Even though I reside in KL, but I'm registered as a Teluk Intan voter. So, and I know that there are many people like me who are residing in urban seats, but who are voting in rural areas. So, I think it's not fair to say it's just urban and rural, because there are other factors that you should consider and see actually what happened in certain particular cases. Teluk Intan, or previously was known as Teluk Antan, has always been under DAP since I was a kid in the 1970s. But I've always been telling my parents that even though it has always been under DAP, but you know, we have not seen any commotion and people of various races living peacefully.
Okay.
Can I
Yes.
continue by saying this is my favorite way of looking at GE13? Yeah, I have always used the two circles to explain or to illustrate what I mean. You see, and this is a trend. Yeah, before 1999, they were already opposition to Perikatan and BN, but you don't really see a cluster of opposing views or alternative views to what Perikatan and Barisan had. Yeah. But starting 1999, you see another circle. Prior to 1999, there was only one circle, the BN circle, or I called it the developmental circle, yeah, or developmental hope. The issues would be infrastructure, yeah, water, electricity, public amenities, and so on, and welfare, yeah. But emerging from 1999, there's another circle coming out, and this circle becomes bigger. It was there in 99, started, and then grow bigger in 2004, getting bigger in 2008, and the size is almost the same with the BN support or the developmental circle. This new circle, I call it the democratic circle. Democratic circle talks about freedom, human right, transparency, integrity, corruption, and so on and so forth. And the people within that circle are exactly what our colleagues are saying here. The young one, the first-time voters, the middle class, if you like, professionals, young urban Malays and Chinese and whatnot. Yeah, and they are part of the urban voters. But this second circle are also there in Temerloh Kampung. Because there are supporters of the opposition there since those days. So I'm looking at these two circles, you know, one circle going smaller, another circle going bigger from 1999, and now they are almost of the same size. And that is how I explain why is it that BN won 59.9% of the seat in parliament but lost the popular vote.
No, Pakatan Rakyat.
We lost the popular vote.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay. Thanks, Datuk. With that, we'll take a break for a while and then we'll continue. Thanks so much.